Ryan,
Yep.
you know what we're doing right now?
Talking about my awesome shirt.
Oh, that Geek Responsibly shirt, the merch that you're repping,
Merch.
soon to be available.
Merch that you can't quite perch.
Not yet, but really soon. We're going to have it available on the website. And if you want to help support the podcast, you can rep the merch. We'll put your picture in the YouTube videos and on Instagram. It's going to be super dope, fresh. But that's not what this video is about.
Nope.
This video is about one thing.
Comments.
Viewer comments. Ryan,
Yo.
let's talk some viewer comments. I want to read you a viewer comment that left on that video you did on digital comics.
Yeah, Russ and myself.
That's
that was
right.
a lot of fun.
Johnny Future.
That's a cool name.
That's actually really cool.
Sounds like a superhero.
It does. He says, I wish DC would have put an Action Comics 1 through 1,000 onto a CD-ROM and sold it for between 100 and 150 bucks.
Yes, dude.
I would have bought it. And I still think there's time to do that. They might miss out on their golden opportunity, though.
Zing.
Zinger.
Well played, Johnny Future.
Well played, Johnny Future. That's actually a really good comment.
It is.
Because that would be really cool. I would love to see digital batches of books be available, because you know where you're going to go if you want to get Action Comics 1 through 1,000?
Nowhere.
Nowhere, or you're going to get it illegally. You're
Or,
going to download it, some torrent or something.
Don't do that.
You don't want to do that. That
Don't do
hurts
that.
everybody involved and potentially yourself. But that is actually a really cool product. So thank you, Johnny Future.
DC has just been dropping the ball when it comes to digital comics.
It's true.
Those are their initials.
What's going on?
DC, Digital Comics. Get in it.
Oh,
They don't have a subscription like
that's
Marvel
good.
does.
Nothing
Nothing.
available.
I would very much love to pay a price and just get to read anything DC that I want to. I can't.
There's so much.
Can't
too.
do that. There is. It's irritating.
It's almost as irritating as the gaps in various collections on the Marvel database.
Yes.
Because we're doing all these Thanos videos, and randomly we're like, oh, we're missing 3 comics. We have to go and find them in the wild.
That's a lot of fun.
Which is always exciting. All right, but let's move on to the next comment.
Next.
Thank you so much again, Johnny Future.
You the man.
You're the man. Thank you.
This question, I should say, is from Gino B. Nino.
Ooh, thank you.
Can you give me some info about the Instagram groups you mentioned?
I mention the IG Comic Fam regularly because I make a bunch of content on Instagram at ComicTom101. The IG Comic community is just a hashtag. It's not a community that you have to be accepted into. If you're part of it, you're part of it.
There's no gatekeepers or
it's
overlords.
Not like an admin or anything like
Moderators.
that.
Yeah.
It's because it's Instagram. And Instagram, it's definitely a on Facebook, you have these private groups, typically consisting of between 500 to a few thousand. Some of these are in the double digits, large groups. But it's I like to describe it as a town square. It's a feed. Everybody's just shouting, throwing stuff up, communicating in comments, long streams of discussion. And it's cool. Whereas on Instagram, you're limited by your own profile. What ends up happening is when you do these hashtags, when you're part of this community, the IG Comic family, it forces a relationship between the members.
Definitely.
Because those posts lead you to a profile, not to a form that's just filled with individuals. So if anything, the community on Instagram is definitely more personal, which is why I find myself spending the most time there versus maybe a private Facebook group, which we've been asked to join a few, and we think we probably will.
It makes sense.
But as far as community involvement, I find Instagram to be the most I've made more friends off of Instagram than any other social platform.
Yeah, me too. I've only been doing I had to get an Instagram to start this whole project with you a few months ago, and just in that past 3 months or so, I've made a lot more connections than I thought I would, than I otherwise would have just on Facebook, for example.
Very good.
It's been a great ride so far. I'm enjoying it.
Where can they find you on Instagram?
At Sir Sargent.
Boom. But anyways, that's the community. You can do a hashtag IG Comic Family to kind of start posting in the explore pages on Instagram.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that's where you start to meet these people. You start to meet, friends of similar interests. And pretty soon you're getting tagged in people's stories because of the stuff you post.
Truth.
And yeah, it's kind of strange, how you can just get brought into a community like that without there being any type of rules in place to kind of force the communication. Yeah. It just kind of happens, and it's a lot of fun.
It really is.
All right. Well,
very good question.
Good question. And thank you so much for posting it in the comments below.
Gino.
This is Another question to you, Ryan, from your digital comics video.
That was so much fun.
From Mr. Doyle Winston. Thank you so much for posting your comment. We appreciate that.
Yes, we do.
He says, I collect copies and read the ones I'm really interested in. But if it's a whole run of something like Hellblazer, good taste, by the way, or something of value, a valuable comic, instead of potentially damaging it in the process of reading it, I'll download it and read it on my phone, instead of leaving Cheeto prints on my sentimental books.
Cheetos and comics don't mix.
What are some other things that don't mix while reading comics? Pretty much any food, right?
Pooping.
Just go straight for pooping.
Not that I'm basing that off any personal experience.
He's like,
Don't do that.
you said that too quick, man.
Sometimes you look over, you're out of toilet paper. Like, I guess this comic's gonna go. It's been fun. You read it real quick.
Of all the things you could have said, like brushing your teeth.
Definitely don't do that
don't
either.
Read comics in the shower or
just
in the
don't
bath.
take your comics in the bathroom.
It's
It's not gonna end well.
You just-
You might need some emergency toilet paper, and you're holding a comic.
oh my gosh.
Doesn't feel that good, but it gets the job done.
Okay, well,
Hashtag.
okay. Kick your response.
Hashtag comic toilet paper.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah.
That's great. That's wonderful.
yeah.
That's good advice to the comic community who didn't know.
Good advice all around.
Avoid the bathroom, it sounds like, or at least keep your leave your graphic novels, depending on their value. Maybe would be the better route.
Sure.
Hey, I actually keep comic books. I don't have any comics in the bathroom, but I do have graphic novels in one of those little magazine binders.
Me too.
Yeah.
100%.
What comics are in your current
Marvel
magazine
Now,
holder?
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1.
Okay, there you go.
Daredevil, The Origins. You have one here, actually. Season 1, Daredevil, Season 1.
That's good, too.
Yep. And Batman Year 1. Very old copy of Batman Year 1.
Very good.
I try to make it so like anybody who comes to my house
like,
and goes to the
"Ooh."
bathroom, I guess in case they don't have their cell phone because it's 2018, nobody's ever read those
I have
except me.
I have some Swamp Thing. Right? Swamp
Gross
Thing.
one to put in the bathroom.
I do. It's kind of a weird one to have in there. I have Swamp Thing there. In the upstairs bathroom, I have Harry Potter, the 1 through 4 box set, the chapter books box set that they used to sell at Costco. I got one of those in the collection, so I threw that up there.
Not comics, right?
No, I just randomly. I'm like, oh,
They
here's
never
a.
make Harry Potter comics? They never did that, did
They
they?
never did that.
That seems like a very.
Huh.
If only we had.
That's actually a really weird thing that they have. They made comics on everything.
They're making
but
stupid movies, expanding that universe. They
That's
should
so
make
strange.
comic books expanding that.
I've never seen a Harry Potter comic.
God damn it, WB, get on it, get on it.
Pretty good.
You own
pretty
DC
good.
Comics. You could easily do it. I hate everyone. That's just what this is.
No, we got to make another Stephen King rendition into comics. I love Stephen King books. It's okay, but
I love that man. So
I know he's a wonderful man. But for real though, we can how do we not have a Harry Potter comic line? So thank you so much for leaving that comment.
We got I don't even remember what comment it was.
I don't know. We covered a lot of things.
That
From
started with Cheetos. That's what it was.
The Cheetos. See what happens when you put comments in the description. We got to keep this rolling. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Next one. Just Pele.
Just Pele. Hey, Just Pele. Thank you so much. You actually follow me on Twitter at ComicTom101, and you tweet at me all the time. And we're having some dope conversations about grading. Thank you so much for doing that. But what did he say?
Talking about grading, it looks like. I collect double covers when I can find them. The most important one is a 1972 Supergirl #1.
Ooh.
Outer cover is a CGC 9.2. Inner cover, 9.6. Overall, it's a 9.4.
It's a hot book.
Kind of right there in the middle.
Very cool.
I'm not sure of its value, but I've been offered as much as $400, but turned it down. I've heard that 2 to 5 times the book value is normal, depending on the book.
Ooh, that could be more expensive. Very good.
Yeah, 400 seems kind of small.
Yeah, well, it's errors like that are one of a kind. To the right collector, they definitely go for what could be 4 to 5 times its value. But that's really cool. Supergirl #1, that is super interesting. Wouldn't doubt it that it would go for much more than 400. And yeah, also I find it fun that CGC does 2 different grades. I didn't really think about that there would have to be two different grades for the cover. And that they would average them for the total grade of the comic. So that's kind of fun. Thanks for that comment.
I've got one more for you, sir.
Oh, you got one more for me?
Yep,
What's the next question,
it's from
Ryan?
the same video.
All right.
Comic Fanatic 86. He wants to know, what about the second printing Of Sandman 75.
Ooh, and our video on error prints. Sandman 75 has a second print, and that's actually a really good thing to notate. It's actually one of the more rare copies of Sandman. And other than it just being super low print, I mean, 75 is the last issue of Sandman. It's considered a ghost comic. It's one of the only, I've only heard this nickname for a few different titles.
Learning so much today.
But yeah, 75, you'll see people advertise it as a ghost comic because it's that scarce. Super low print and not one that that many people picked up. It's one of those strange things where it's like the second print was to appease the audience that was left in the stores who didn't get their first copy.
Yeah.
But that happened to be a very low print. And then after all said and done, this comic book run becomes super popular and changes comic books forever. And then, yeah, funny, we didn't mention it. And we do appreciate you putting that in the comment section. So thank you. Who was that again?
Comic Fanatic 86.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Sounds like he's 3 years older than I am.
Last thing before we move on, because we appreciate you, all the community. We flew past 600 subs.
Real quick.
Real quick. It was awesome.
Suspiciously quick.
Yeah. What is going on? No, we appreciate it. We're so excited.
Who are you people?
It's all from Russia.
That's it. Anything suspicious on the internet is from Russia.
Exactly. And but no, it's humbling. It's actually kind of crazy how quickly this channel is growing. We really do appreciate it. We're pumping out a lot more content going forward, and we're excited to have you along for the ride. One thing that we're going to be doing coming up here, we do have one series we do, which is on the Infinity Gauntlet saga, where we cover every issue in this huge run. But we are going to be expanding this. We're going to continue to do Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet run, but we're going to add other comic books to the mix very soon. And if you have any suggestions of issues or runs, what should they do, Ryan?
Comment down below. And as you can clearly see, if you're getting to this far into the video, we read the comments.
Yes.
We'll take your advice into consideration.
We may even put you like on the screen.
I think that's a good idea.
We should probably do that.
It's a very good idea. There's a whole bunch of stuff we haven't read, or at least that I haven't read. I don't want to speak from a man over here, but
No,
I never
me
read
too.
Sandman. Just putting that out there. I never read Sandman.
We have so much to read. Yeah. I'm excited to do it.
Me too.
And if anything, I think there's one last thing that needs to be said. Geek responsibly. Enough said. Good news. We are on SoundCloud, Stitcher, and iTunes if you would like to consume our content via audio only.